I was supposed to update my YouTube channel every week. I said I was going to do that, and I made a couple of videos since I've been here, but after the first week or so, I really stopped doing it. I don't really have a good reason why. I mean, when I first got here, it was pretty slow, and then things really started to pick up was at Magic Kingdom. We got really busy, and then the spring break hit, and before I knew it, it's so much time had gone by, and I just didn't know when to start again. So this feels like a good time to start again, because tonight is the end of the first half of the beginning, if that makes sense. So to catch you guys up on speed, for anyone who doesn't know, originally I was supposed to do my college program, and I was supposed to be here from January 22nd, 23rd until May 24th. That's today. Today's May 24th. A few weeks, halfway through my program in about March, I decided that I wanted to extend my program, stay here a little bit longer if I could. So I extended, they accepted it. When I put in for my extension, I asked to change roles. Originally, I was working in attractions at Magic Kingdom, Mickey's PhilharMagic, and the Carousel, and when I extended, I asked to change to merchandise, and I asked to leave Magic Kingdom, and I would put in for either Magic Kingdom or Epcot. I'd put in for either Animal Kingdom or Epcot, and they ended up approving my extension and approving my transfer to merchandise at Animal Kingdom. So that's what I'm wearing now, is my Animal Kingdom top. And I say that today is the beginning of the end of the beginning, because today is the day that today's my last day here in this apartment in 3609, because of my extension I'm going to be moving houses, because the rest of my roommates did not extend. Originally there were 6 of us total originally, and Kayla, who had moved in with us, she self-termed about halfway through March, so right around when I was extending. And after Kayla self-termed, Monica moved in, and Monica's been with us now, and so Monica and I share a room now. And so Monica's been here, and then a few weeks ago, Kate Clark left. She got an amazing opportunity to work in a theater back home. You can see my stuff in the background as well. Mostly all packed up. So Kate Clark had a great opportunity to work in a theater back home, so she ended her program a few weeks early. She left May 10th. And then one of my other roommates, Araya, she left on Wednesday. So today, the last 2 moved out, and it's just Monica and Monica and I are moving tomorrow. So you can see, this is probably the cleanest our kitchen ever was. And probably the cleanest it's ever going to be as we move out tomorrow. So tonight, my boyfriend Kevin and Monica and I, look at all the trash that left us, we have plans we're going to take all of the food, anything we have that's left, cook up a bunch of food, and stay up all night, clean the house, make sure everything is ready for move-in tomorrow. So not only is today my last day here, but I just feel really sad that everyone's gone. So this is, right now we're standing in what used to be Kate Clark and Omira's room. So if you guys are watching, your room's so empty and it's so sad. I came in here to close the blinds because it's just, I don't want people in the street. It's just creepy. The room looks empty from the street and it's creepy. So I don't know, I'm just really sad that everyone's gone. And it's not just my roommates, it's my friends I used to work with at Fantasyland. A lot of them went home. I had my friend Jacob, who I know probably isn't watching this because he doesn't have a Facebook or anything. But Jacob left a week before my program extension. This is Caitlin and Araya's room. This is my favorite closet in the whole apartment. I don't know why. It's just, I like this part. I like this closet. So after Jacob left, then my friend Kelsey, who extended with me, her and I, we changed our apartments, or we changed our roles. And now my friend Paulina left, my friend Jen is leaving this week, I think, next week. And my friend Natasha left, and now there's only a few of my friends who are still here. Kelsey's going to be here till August with me. And then Angela and Gemma are here, I think, until June. So it's just sad that I feel like everyone's leaving. I mean, I know I'm here till August and I'll probably make more friends, but I can't help but feel sad for everyone who's not here and everyone who doesn't get to share in the rest of my program. But since I've been here, I have met some amazing people. I guess what we'll do as part of my starting the video series up again is I'll do quick videos about everybody that I've met so far. Okay, so now I'm nice and showered, my hair's all wet. So out of my work clothes into some comfy clothes so we can talk about everyone that I've met so far. Where to start? Well, I guess the best place to start would be with Kevin. If I had to pick one reason why I stopped doing YouTube videos, it would be Kevin. Not to put any blame on Kevin, but he has eaten up a lot of my time. So for anyone who doesn't know, Kevin is my new boyfriend. I met him here at the college program. We met 3 or 4 days after our program started, so he's been my friend since the whole time. So any chance that I get, if it's time days off that we have together or a few hours before work or something, Kevin and I always hang out. Always trying to get as much time in as possible because Kevin is from Texas and I'm from Rhode Island, so when our program ends, Kevin is going to go back to Texas. I'm going to go back to Rhode Island, and who knows what's going to happen after that. But if I had to pick a word to describe Kevin, I would say charming. Not just because I like him or anything like that. Like, he's genuinely nice and friendly to everyone. He's always smiling. When he's at work, he's always greeting guests with a big smile and asking them about their day, and he's just charming is the one word if I had to describe it. His hobbies include video games and being a personal nuisance to everyone around him, but it's cute when he does it because, like I said, his one word is charming. I guess next I'll do each of my roommates. There was Kayla. And if I had to describe Kayla in one word, it would be personal. Personal is the word I'm going to use for Kayla. Kayla she kind of kept to herself. She did have her own group of friends that she went out with. She didn't really hang out with us as an apartment that much. But when we did hang out with Kayla and we did talk to Kayla, she was always nice and friendly and she was always smiling. And she was just on opposite schedules of us, so we didn't really get to see her that much. She was only here till March, so we didn't really, at least for me, and I was her roommate, I didn't really get to see her that much. She got off work at 5, went to bed every night at 9. Back then when I was working at Magic Kingdom, I was still working. 9 o'clock was like halfway through my shift. So I was getting home at like 1 in the morning and she was asleep. And then I would sleep late because I worked so late, so I would sleep late in the morning and she would get up at 6 in the morning, so we just never saw each other. So then there was, I guess I'll do them in the order that I met them. The next roommate that I met, the day I moved in, I walked in the door and Kayla, our room is right by the door. And I was like, oh, is this the spare room? And Kayla was like, yeah. So then after I got some of my stuff in, there was someone in the kitchen, which is why I'm looking over at the kitchen. There's someone standing in the kitchen, over by the counter, way over there. And standing at the counter in the kitchen was Caitlin. She was putting away food, and she was like, oh, I'm putting all my food away in the cupboard, so anything, if you ever need anything out of the cupboard, just let me know, just ask, and you can use it, feel free to use it. So, Caitlin. I had to pick one word to describe Caitlin. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. This one word game I picked for myself is really hard. I don't know why I decided that I was going to do it. One word to describe Caitlin. I guess I'll get back to that. Back to the first day. So Caitlin was putting in her food and she introduced herself. And so Caitlin was the next roommate I met. Caitlin worked at the Grand Floridian. She did quick service, which is it's a resort over by Magic Kingdom. Caitlin was the only one out of our roommates who had a car. Well, Kayla had a car, but we never used Kayla's car because we never hung out with her. But Caitlin had a car, and I used to have a class, a organizational leadership class. I used to ride in the morning with Caitlin in her car, back when I took that class. Trying to think of what else. Caitlin was really nice. She was always going somewhere. Always offering. She was always going somewhere, and she was always offering to take anybody else or go with somebody else. The funny thing about Caitlin is actually on the first day after I met Caitlin's boyfriend, Josh. And Josh is the reason why Kevin and I met, because Caitlin and Josh, on their first day, we went down. They were gonna go down to the hot tub at the complex, and they asked if I wanted to go, and so I was like, sure. And Kevin was actually one of Josh's roommates, so Caitlin and Josh are the reason why Kevin and I met. So, Caitlin's roommate in her room was Araya. Araya was the roommate who became the closest with at first. She worked at she worked in Magic Kingdom with me. Duh. She worked quick service at Magic Kingdom in Fantasyland. Mostly, whenever I saw her, she was working at Gaston's Tavern or Storybook Treats down around the corner there. So, that's Araya. And then the next room was Omira. I remember the first week, Omira and I were trying to figure out which attractions we were working, because we both found out we're working attractions in Fantasyland. Because when you first get your program, you don't know until you show up for training, like the second or third day of training, you find out where your actual attraction is. And so we have this website called The Hub where you can view your schedule. So like, we'll just see what training we have. So our first Sunday, we looked it up, and she saw that she had Mermaid Complex training, on the job training, and I had PhilharMagic Complex on the job training, and that's how we found out where we were going. So we showed up for our general attractions training at Magic Kingdom, and their facilitator was Janine, and Janine had she had everyone do a drum roll for everyone where they were going, and she was like, oh, do you guys don't look where you're going, we're going to wait till the end. And we had this big thing, and Omira and I the whole day were just like, we already know where we're going, we cheated, we looked on the Hub. So Omira and I saw a lot of each other during training, because we did wishes training together, we did our general attractions training, but after training we didn't really see each other because we were on opposite ends of Fantasyland and we were always working at the same times, but we always had different days off, so we never really saw each other or hung out. And then the last of my original roommates was Kate Clark, and I didn't even meet Kate Clark the first day we moved in. Like, we all hung out. No, we didn't hang out the first day. We all moved in, and everyone kind of kept to themselves and stuff. And I saw everyone one by one because I lived by the door. So as they were coming in, I'd be like, oh, hi, I'm Sarah May, I'm your roommate. And we all talked and introduced ourselves. But Kate Clark didn't come in that day, and I did not find out the reason why I was until later. Sorry, there's like something in my eye. I don't know what it is. Better, I guess. Okay. So I didn't meet Kate Clark the first day. I didn't meet her until 3 days later when we went to the hot tub. All of the roommates went except for Kayla. So that was when I met Kate Clark. If I had to describe Kate Clark in one word, funky. I don't know if that, not in a bad way, Kate Clark had a beautiful, she wore bright yellow pants and a fedora. She was just, her and I became really close. And our favorite thing to do is play Just Dance. Really, if I had to pick one point where Kate Clark and I became friends was we went on what we called a lady date. We went to the movies and we saw Safe Haven. And she said, no one else will go see this movie with me. Will you go see it with me? And I was like, sure, I'll go see it with you. And we went to the AMC Dine-In Theater. It was like both of our first times at a Dine-In Theater. We went to go, our first time to go to the Dine-In Theater. No, I remember now. It was Identity Thief with the chick from Bridesmaids. Kate Clark was like, I really like Bridesmaids. And so I was like, all right, well, we'll go see it. So then we went, that was our first time at the AMC Dine-In. And then after that, we started having lady dates. And our second lady date was to Safe Haven, to go see Safe Haven. And I cried. I cried so hard at the end of that movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I cried. And Kate Clark sat there laughing the entire time. Like, during the credits, I could not even move. I just cried. It was so, it's a sad movie. It's really sad. Kate Clark laughed at me. And so from those two things really was when we became friends. And then we started playing Just Dance, and that became addictive really quick. Once we started playing Just Dance, we didn't stop. Like, every day I'd come home from work, Sarah, play Just Dance with me. Kate Clark, it's 2 a.m, like I'm tired. But I'd do it, and Apache was our favorite song. And then Just Dance 4 came out, and when I was like, within that week, I was like, I gotta get, well, no, I guess it was already out. But she was like, why don't you have Just Dance 4? And I was like, I'm gonna get it. And within like a week, I got Just Dance 4, and Gangnam Style became our favorite game, our favorite song. And now she's gone. I don't have anyone to play Just Dance with. Kevin won't play it with me because he's embarrassed, I guess, to dance. I don't know. He won't play it with me. So I don't have anyone to play Just Dance with. Maybe my new roommates will like Just Dance. So that was all of my original roommates. Then Monica moved in. So Monica is great. I wish Monica and I could stay together because her and I are exactly the same. We wake up every day and we sit on the computer, and like there are some times where it's like we both have the day off and we're like, we should go do something, and we're like, nope, I'd rather sit here and sit on Tumblr or do this and that, and it's just great. So I remember when she moved in, when then Kayla moved out, and there was like a week where I had no one and I lived by myself, and I got used to it, and I was like, this is great. I never want to have a new roommate. And then that week, and I was like, well, you guys are moving out soon, maybe I won't get a roommate. That week, I got this letter, and it was like the next day, they're like, you're getting a roommate the next day, and I was like, I don't want a new roommate. I had like a mental breakdown. It was bad. I was like pacing, and I was like throwing stuff, and Kevin and Kate Clark were like, you're being ridiculous, like it's gonna be fine. And I was like, no, she's gonna be some crazy girl with like a expensive matching luggage set, and she's gonna be like this horrible bleach blonde like wench, and like they're like, you're being ridiculous. And sure enough, after a while, I got to know Monica, and she is not my worst fear. She is awesome, and I'm really sad that her and I can't stay together. Change of location! That means it's a new category! Actually, I have no idea what it means. I just figured you guys would get tired of staring at the same blank wall. So I moved to another blank wall. So let's talk about Fantasyland. Fantasyland was fun. Fantasyland. I miss it. But I'm also really glad I left. Because if I would have stayed in the same location through my whole program, through my extension, I would have been miserable. So I'm glad I got to get out. Sorry. Oh yeah, I'm also slightly dying. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've had like this stuffy nose, so my voice sounds weird. Yeah, I've had this like stuffy nose. I've had like, I don't know, it's just gross. So if I cough occasionally, that might happen. Just now that I said it, it's gotta happen twice, right? So Fantasyland. I don't really remember who the first person I really became friends with in Fantasyland was. So I'll just do them Well, I remember training. I trained with my friend Natasha and this girl Sarah Gu. So, Natasha. Natasha and I were pretty much, we never really had any issues or anything. We were pretty much friendly to each other the entire time. And then we became really close friends when she drove me home one day. I forget why the first time, but she started driving me home, and then after a while we started doing really late shifts, and it was just, I started going home with her so she didn't have to drive home alone. We both had to come to Vista anyway, and it was just like, friends don't let friends drive tired, I guess. So I made sure she got home every day and stuff. So whenever we worked together, I went home with her. Natasha, she was so much fun. I always envied her energy. Like, it was so intense because it's just like, we have this one position called guest flow, and it's just like you're standing out in the hot sun, and it's the middle of spring break, and you have to keep two-way traffic between this tiny little aisleway with guests. And it's just like so hot, and you're like, I really don't want to be here. And then you'd look over and you'd see Natasha smiling and dancing in her little straw fedora with the red strap, because hardly ever anyone ever wore the actual hats for Fantasyland. It was mostly a lot of the retired older people, and then me and Natasha, and eventually even I stopped wearing my hat. But it was always nice, especially one of the things that got me through working spring break, because the hours were so long and miserable, was looking over, down, being a guest flow, and you're like, it's my 6th hour standing out in the sun, I really just want to go home, but you had like 10 hours left of your shift. And just look down the aisle, and you'd see Natasha still smiling and dancing on her 10th hour of her shift, and you're just like, okay, I can do this. And so it was just really cool. It's really stupid, and like, you probably wouldn't get it unless you were there, but it was really cool. And so, I guess I'm doing this. Probably no one's ever gonna watch this, and anyone who is just gonna scroll through to see if like their name is comes up, or if they come up in the conversation at all. But I guess this is just sort of my goodbyes to everyone, because a lot of people are leaving, so these are my goodbye letters, kind of. Because, everyone from CP comes from all over the place, and so, we just don't know if we're going to see anyone again. Natasha was from North Carolina. She worked in Fantasyland with me, and so I hope I get to see everyone again, or at least I get to talk to them again, because they were just so awesome. But just in case I don't, I want everyone to know, that I'm gonna remember you. I don't know if you'll remember me, but I'll remember you. Next, I guess I'll do Edson and Daniel. Oh, Edson and Daniel. Edson and Daniel were 2 of our international college program students from Mexico. Daniel will forever be remembered to me and my friend Angela for these awful faces he would make when he was... If Natasha was like the high energy of like guest flow, Daniel was always like the low. He would just sit there and make this awful face. I don't even know if I can do it as well as Angela can, but he just looked so sad and miserable to the point where you just wanted to go up and hug him. And he was from Mexico, so it was always cold, and it would be like 80 degrees out, and he had on this tight, for the longest time he had a pea coat that did not fit him, and he had this tight black fleece pea coat on, and he's just standing there, but like in the middle of the sun, and we're like, Daniel, take your coat off, and he just looks so sad. But Daniel now works at the Columbia Harbor House, still at Magic Kingdom. It's just right around the corner from where he used to work in Fantasyland, and he's a lot happier there. But if you ever had a friend, you just needed 5 minutes to talk to someone about something and just to tell them how bad your day was going, Daniel was that friend. He listened to everyone, and he always had good stories to make you feel better about your day, because as bad as your day was going, Daniel probably had a story that was worse. And the sad thing is, just bad things happen to that poor kid. Edson. Oh, Edson. Edson was my best friend in Fantasyland for a long time until he got transferred to Merchandise in Frontierland. He was my go-to translator for everything. Whenever I had a Spanish-speaking guest, it was always, Edson, come here. And he was just my best friend. We were really close. And I was so sad the day that him and Daniel left. But he was trying to teach me. He tried to teach me Spanish while he was there. So the little bit of Spanish that I do remember from school, combined with a little bit of the few words that I did learn, are thanks to Edson. Every time I tried to learn Spanish from Daniel, he'd laugh at me and say I didn't know how to speak Spanish. So, I owe all of my Spanish speaking skills to Edson. And I'm really sad that I don't really get to see him anymore because he works in Frontierland. One of the best days I ever had with them was Natasha, Angela, Edson, Daniel, and I all went out to Waffle House, and it was Daniel and Edson's first time at a Waffle House, and their first time having hash browns, and I'll never forget, Daniel looked at me and he's like, "This is the only thing I like about American food, it's the hash browns." So, and we missed them so much when they left. Natasha, Angela, and I went somewhere. We went out and did something, went somewhere. And then after we went out, went right to Daniel and Edson's house. When we showed up and was told them that we missed them. So I guess I'll do Angela next, since she's part of the last story. We'll do Angela next. Angela was one of our international college program students from Australia. I have no idea when I started talking. I guess that day that we went out to the Waffle House and we took the boys to their first Waffle House, and Natasha and Angela and I went with them. That was the first time I really, really started to become friends with Angela. Since then, I've hung out with Angela numerous times. Angela took me on my first trip to Universal, and I've been to Yacht and Beach with Angela a couple times to eat at Beaches and Cream. One thing you need to know about Angela, she loves the Yacht and Beach Resort. Loves it. Like, it's part of her soul. Angela she was always so fun to be around. If Daniel knew how you were feeling, Angela was the one who knew how you were thinking. You could just give Angela a look, and she'd smile and nod and know exactly what you're talking about. It's probably one of the things I miss most about working in Fantasyland was that our group of friends was just... It wasn't necessarily that we all had a lot in common because we come from all over, but we could just look at each other and just know. And I'm really going to miss hanging out with Angela the most. After Angela, I guess we'll do Jacob. Angela and Jacob were the closest out of anyone in Fantasyland, I think. They were there before my program started, so I don't know when they became friends or anything like that. But Jacob, I think he said he had done his internship for a year. So he'd been there a long time. But he wasn't in Fantasyland the whole time. He used to work, I think. He used to work at All-Star. And he used to work in Canada at Epcot. And when I first started there, Jacob tried to convince everyone that he was from Canada, and he would always call everyone cousin, and he'd be like, "How you doing today, cousin?" Jacob worked these ridiculous hours, and they already gave us crazy hours. Like during spring break, we were working 60 hours a week, and Jacob would pick up the shifts, and he'd work 80 hours a week. And he was just, at least for me, Jacob always helped me keep my energy up because, like Natasha, like how I said, if Natasha could make it through Guess What, I can make it through. That's how I always felt about Jacob. Like when I was working and Jacob was working, I always thought, well, he's working 80 hours this week, and if Jacob can get through his 80 hours, you can get through your 10 hours of work today. Like, and that's just, he was just great to motivate. And Jacob always understood, and he was a thinker and a planner. And so if there was a solution or something, a problem that needed to be solved, and you couldn't do it right away, say you had to go on break right away or something, you could leave your problem in Jacob's hands, and he would take care of it. So that was Jacob's thing, problem solving and being there. If you ever needed a hand for anything, it could be the worst job in the world. You asked Jacob to do it, and he'd be right there helping. He'd be the first one. And then there's Paulina. Paulina was another one of our ICPs. Paulina. Paulina's favorite thing to do was to tell me about everything that was going on in her life. And she always just made my work day interesting because I don't really go out. I don't really do anything that exciting on my days off. I go to the parks. And so I always loved to hear what fun adventures Paulina went on over the weekend. And then there was Gemma. Gemma's from New Zealand. And Gemma was just so, I'm trying to think of, I want to say bright, but that's not really, I guess that's not really a word. Like, I don't mean it in the way, I don't know how to explain Gemma. She's just so normal. She was the most normal one out of any of us. Like, she could be happy and smiling, but she wasn't too over the top like Natasha. But she had some pretty rough days too. Don't get me wrong, I love Gemma. It's just, it's hard because your brain automatically categorizes people as things, and then when you don't have a category for someone, you don't know what to do. That's Gemma. But she's just, if I ever needed anything from her, she was always there. These are getting worse and worse. Like, the more I try to do these, they're just getting worse and worse and worse. Who's next? We got Marley. Marley. I remember when Marley trained. I remember her first day of training. If Natasha is the top of the energy bar, Marley is like right up on top. She was always ready to go. She was like the Energizer Bunny. She made me exhausted just watching her. She was always quick pace, but Marley was always willing to take anyone's hours. If you wanted to go home to see your family and you needed anything from Marley, she was willing to sacrifice herself for that. And that's why when Marley needed something, Marley needed some days to go see her sister's graduation. That's why when I had my Animal Kingdom training, my first day, Marley said she needed someone to take half of her day. I couldn't take it all because I had my training, but I was like, Marley, as much as I can do for you, I'll take it. Because Marley was always there for us. And so, who else is left? There was Miles. Miles called in on his last day and said, I'm not coming into work today, or ever. So I was really close to Miles, but that was Miles. Danielle. Danielle was the funniest person I ever talked to. I would always just be having like this would sound like I just have, like, every time I share a story, I'd be like, I was always having a real bad day, but like, I had some great times in Fantasyland too. It's just most of my good stories I remember from when I was having a really bad day. But every time I was having a really bad day, Danielle would come up to me and she would just say the funniest things to me. One day I was staring at strollers, and I'm like parking strollers and stuff, and these little crows come by. And Danielle comes up to me, and Danielle says to me, see them blackbirds over there? Them the hood birds. I just could not control myself. It was the funniest thing at the time. And then this other time, Danielle drives me home, but we stopped at Walmart first to get some stuff. She wanted to buy some stuff for dinner. And I was like, sure, it's still better than taking the bus. So we stopped at Walmart first, and on the way home, she bought some pre-cooked chicken. She's driving, and she's got one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on her fried chicken, and her phone started ringing, and she goes, well, my phone's ringing, but I'm conveniently eating fried chicken and driving, so, and she just kept driving. And so every week I always had a Danielle quote of the week because she was just so funny. And the things she said just always made me laugh. And so I think the last CP, I know my fantasy, I can't believe I'm already at the end, was Kelsey. Oh, Kelsey. Kelsey, I don't know how to talk about Kelsey. Kelsey and I became really, really close. It's so, it must sound like I hate all of these people because every time I'm like, oh, how do I talk to this one? I'm like, I'm pausing. It's just so much I want to say that I just don't. I probably should have scripted this for myself, so I'd be like, say this about this person, but, you know, whatever. When I first thought about just extending my program, I was like, you know, I really want to stay, but all my friends are going to be leaving because, you know, this person's program ends in June, this one ends in May, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, Kevin was going to be here because Kevin's program goes till the 9th anyway, so he was going to be here the whole time. And I was like, you know, I don't know if I want to extend my program just to be with my boyfriend. Like, is that a good thing? So I wish I had someone else who was staying. And then one day I was at work and I was working exit glasses, which is like sorting our 3D glasses and like re-racking them and stuff. And Kelsey comes in and she's like, oh, are you going to extend your college program? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I've been kind of thinking about it, but I don't think I want to. She's like, oh, well, I'm going to extend mine, and I put in for it, but I really want to work at the time she had said she really wanted to work at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. And I was like, yeah, you know, my boyfriend wears some merchandise. I'd really like to try that, see what that's like, how it's different, but because I don't really want to work in Magic Kingdom anymore. And she was like, yeah, I kind of want to get out of Magic Kingdom too, but I'd really like to work at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique or do hospitality. And so she was like, yeah, I'm going to put in for my extension when it comes up. And so then the applications for the extensions came in, and I filled it out, and I'm not saying that, you know, my friends are the only reason why I wanted to stay, or that my boyfriend was the only reason why I wanted to stay. I mean, I had a lot of reasons. The longer I stay here, I mean, I do want to be a lawyer for Disney, so the longer I stay here, it looks better. And I just wasn't ready to leave yet. I was having too much fun, and I was enjoying too much of what the program has to offer me. So I decided to extend. And so, I mean, part of that is due to Kelsey. I had a friend who was going to stay. It wasn't just my boyfriend, and I mean Kevin, who's going to be here. So. Oh, last person I was talking about is Fantasy Land. Last person. Paul. Paul is Kelsey's boyfriend. They started going on, I think, a month or two or something. A month or two ago. They haven't been together that long, but they've been friends since the beginning of Kelsey's program. Paul is part-time, and he works at Peter Pan and Small World. But, so obviously I became friends with Paul because I was friends with Kelsey, and I remember the day Kelsey and I were going to leave. Kelsey and I had our same last day together. And Paul was like, you know, I think that out of all the CPs, it's going to be hard to say goodbye to you guys. And I was like, well, I know why you want to say goodbye to Kelsey. Like, why it's going to be hard for you to say goodbye to Kelsey because she's your girlfriend. I was like, but why me? And he's like, you know, no, you guys are like two of my favorite CPs. Like, you're my two closest friends. And so I just thought that, I mean, that was cool. I like Paul, and he's really nice. And even though I pick on him sometimes, so in a few days, next week, everyone should feel her who's left is getting together because it's going to be Gemma's last day soon. So we're all getting ready to, we're going to go bowling. And so we all do still hang out, those of us who are still here and who are still going to be here for a while. We hang out at least once a week, about once a week. we met last week. Angela, Kelsey, and I met last week for ice cream at Beaches and Cream. And this week, Gemma, Angela, Kelsey, and I met and had dinner at Epcot. So then next week we're going bowling. So we meet once a week and we still talk and stuff. And so that's really nice because everyone always says, like, you know, everywhere you go, you're like, oh yeah, we'll still hang out. So maybe since we all still hang out while we're here, when our programs are done, we'll all still hang out over here. And I mean, my second half of my program is just getting started. So maybe at the end of that program, I'll have another video about how much I miss everyone at Animal Kingdom. But for now, it's all about Fantasyland. I mean, like I said, I'm glad I left because I needed to try something new and make a new experience. And if I would have stayed in Fantasyland the entire time, I would have been miserable because it would have been, as much as I'm slowly watching all my friends leave, it would have been worse because I would have been doing the same job. And at least now I feel like I'm getting a change too. I'm not stuck at the same job while my friends leave. But I'm going to miss everyone so much, and I'm so sad that everybody is leaving. And I hope that everybody keeps in touch. And I hope that you guys do watch this video because I love you all. And I just wanted everybody to know, just in case I don't get to see you, or for those of you guys who left, just in case. I just want you guys all to know how much I'm going to miss you guys when my program and your programs are done, and to keep in touch. So this is me signing off from this video. If I forgot anyone, deeply apologize. I promise it was not intentional. Like I said, this was not scripted. I kind of just rambled off my thoughts as they came to me. But I'm supposed to be staying up all night with Monica and Kevin, cleaning the house and stuff. So who knows what other videos are going to come out of this. I really want to get back into making YouTube videos again. So hopefully that'll happen. We'll see. For now, stay tuned. There's going to be a YouTube video eventually.